Yo, what's going on? This is Rapology, your favorite rapper's favorite podcast. I'm your boy Maurice.
It's your girl DJ Saucy.
All right, so what's going on? On today's episode, we're gonna come to you guys and talk about two living icons, hip hop legends, two of the dopest hip hop artists of all time. I'm talking about none other than Jay-Z and Nas. I posed the question on Threads maybe a week or so ago about you can only pick only one discography you can have for the rest of your life, and that's between Jay-Z's discography and Nas' discography. So I just want to pose the question. I want to me and Sai gonna go back and forth. She's a huge Nas fan. We both are Jay-Z and Nas fans, but she is definitely a Nas go hard fan. So she gonna give her five picks from Nas because she's rolling with Nas. I'm gonna roll with Jay-Z. We're gonna give her five. I'm gonna give my five, and we're gonna discuss the importance of discography and let you guys choose. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments which discography that you're rolling with. So what's going on with you, Si?
What's up? Okay, so I just love how you announced that, like, it's me. Like,
Yeah.
it's me. I'm the one that's the Nas fan here, but it's cool.
Huge Nas fan. Yeah. She loves Nas.
That's my birthday twin, so I always got to give it up for Nas. Huge round of applause from jump. And I always think like this conversation between Nas and Jay-Z is so interesting. Like, I remember again, like, the competitive spirit of hip hop, like being on the bus, like arguing about who was better, Jay-Z or Nas, like during the height of the beef. And again, to Maurice's point, I've always been the Nas fan for sure. Rightfully so. But all right, so we're gonna hop right into it. So
yeah, give me your five. What you got?
My top five Nas album, of course, has to be Illmatic. Like number one, hands down. I'm gonna go. So sometimes it's a toss up between Stillmatic and It Was Written, like as far as for the second spot. But in this case, for the sake of argument, I'm gonna go Illmatic, Stillmatic, It Was Written. And then the last two, I'm gonna get to albums that were a little bit more recent in Nas's catalog. So I'm gonna go with KD3 because super slept on. Shout out to Hit Boy for that one. And then for me, a personal favorite is Life Is Good.
Life Is Good.
I feel as though we could have an honorable mention for Godson just because that also was a great album. But I think Life Is Good for me just has like a little bit of an edge up because it was definitely more personal, the tone from Nas and like, the content. So those are my top five.
Okay.
It's hard to answer the question of whose catalog you can go without. I mean, is that even really a thing? But I think both Jay-Z and Nas definitely have brought like an incredible amount of value to the game from their catalogs. And that's a hard question for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely it's not an easy one because Jay-Z and Nas, like both of them are legendary, and I think both of them as far as solo albums have over like 14, 15 solo albums, so it's definitely a hard thing to come up with. Just choose five and one or the other. But I'm gonna go with Jay-Z. I love Nas, man. He's actually my favorite rapper, one of my favorite lists. I'm gonna go with Jay-Z, but as far as his catalog is concerned, and my top five Jay-Z albums on my list is I'm gonna go with Reasonable Doubt. Of course, another 1996 release. You gotta have Reasonable Doubt in there for what it was for that time, the Rockefeller whole thing. Shout out to Jay, shout out to Dame, shout out to the whole Rockefeller family, everybody on there. And at my number two spot, I'm gonna go with The Blueprint. I kind of go back and forth with The Blueprint and Reasonable Doubt because The Blueprint is my personal favorite Jay-Z album. In my opinion, I think it's Jay-Z's best album. I know a lot of people want to argue with that, but The Blueprint was just different. Back in 2001, Jay-Z came back with the soulful samples on The Blueprint, and what Kanye and Just Blaze and all those guys did on that album was incredible, man. I definitely have to mention The Blueprint in there and everything. And my top three is kind of obvious. And then the third one is definitely the Black Album. The 2003. Really? Yeah, I got the Black Album in there. His supposedly retirement album, that was released in 2003. That was actually, my senior year in high school. I know I'm showing my age right now, so I guess it kind of holds some nostalgia to it. You know, it actually came out after my senior year. It came out later in 2003, I think, November, sometime like that. So I just remember where I was, you know, listening to the Black Album, you know, riding my first car and all that kind of stuff. So it just holds like a special place in my heart, you know what Jay-Z did. Everybody thought he was retiring at that time, but we all know he came back a few years later. So yeah, I got Black Album at 3. At number 4, I'm gonna go with what I feel is his most underrated album that I think a lot of people don't mention enough, and that's his 2007 release, American Gangster. Yeah, American Gangster. Yeah, American Gangster. Yeah, that's definitely a top 5 Jay-Z album. You know, it basically served as a soundtrack for the film American Gangster, you know, starring Denzel Washington and everything like that. So soulful 70s, you know, how whole captured that feel of the 70s of American Gangster. He just captured that era so well with that album. Just an amazing project. Had Nas featured on there as well. Beanie Siegel, a couple people like that. Lil Wayne was on there as well. So I got American Gangster at number 4. And my number 5, I'm gonna go with 444. I'm gonna go with 444. Yeah, his last studio album, which I think is maybe Jay-Z's last album. I think Jay-Z is not putting out no more full-length album. He might pop up on a song here and there, but I think this may be Jay-Z's last album. I hope I'm wrong. Don't get me wrong. I want a new Hove album. I want a new Jay-Z album, but it's been since 2017 since 444 was released. And I just don't see
almost 10 years.
Yeah, almost 10 years. So where Jay-Z's at in his life, I just don't see him doing a new album, doing more promo, going on promo tours, doing all that. And like I said, I hope I'm wrong. I want a new Jay-Z album because I know Nas is coming. Nas still active, so I want Jay-Z to be active. Yeah. So I want Jay-Z. So I hope I'm wrong, but I just got a feeling that I think Jay-Z is officially retired from album.
Oh, wow, that was a super hot take.
Yeah. I think he's retired.
Can't say that.
You don't think so? I just got the feeling. I don't think he has the love for it no more. He might pop up and do a feature on an album here and there and this and that, but I think that's pretty much all we're gonna get from Jay. And it saddens me to say, you know. But
I don't know. We'll see. I feel like the 444 was his apology album to Beyonce. So I don't know. I can't see that being like the last of a, you know.
You think so? I don't know, but if it was, it's a great way to go out. It was a great album, you know, by Jay-Z, 444. It was his take on Nas' Life is Good, you know, because Nas kind of, you know, did that. Then Jay came with his personal version of his album and stuff like that. Same with what Kendrick did a couple years later with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Very personal, very letting you into their personal lives. So I love when artists do that. Those are part of my top 3 personal hip hop albums is Mr. Morale, Life is Good by Nas, and Jay-Z's 444. But since you gave an honorable mention, I'm gonna give one as well. I'm gonna go with Jay-Z's Hard Not Life Volume 2. That's my honorable mention. Volume 2. I think that's Jay-Z's most important album.
Okay.
Volume released in 1998. That with the Annie song on there, Hard Not Life, with the Annie sample on there, that took Jay-Z to another level. Like it took him to superstardom. You know, we knew who he was in the black community as hip hop fans and stuff like that. But when he made that album, he did the Hard Not Life tour. He did, you know, he just became a big star. That song went number 1. I think it's still his highest selling album. I think at about 4 or 5 million out of his whole career. Yeah, I think Volume 2.
Too. Yeah, I was gonna say something about you not putting in my lifetime.
Yeah.
I'm like, but all right, you got Volume 2 as an honorable mention, but you definitely have to acknowledge that series.
Right, that series was dope.
Yeah, for sure. Life and Times of S. Carter, like that one was fire as well. I think that definitely, to your point, was the catapult for Jay-Z in that career. But also at the same time, like 1998 was just a great year for releases in general, in hip hop and
hip hop.
Definitely Jay-Z, pretty much just put his claim in the industry. And I think that's why it's so hard to like have this discussion about like whose discography you'll take, because to be honest, like as much of a Nas fan I am, like full catalog wise, I would agree with you that, you know, hey, I'm taking Jay-Z's catalog because it just had
Jay-Z catalog. Oh no, what
over like as far as completeness and totality, yeah.
Nas still active out here. Nas still dropping quality music.
I mean, yes, I agree. And like you think about the Magic series, you think about King's Disease, phenomenal series, you know, between collaboration with him and Hit Boy. And I think he got like some more music coming out. I mean, Nas, like skill wise, for me, outshines Jay-Z in any year, personally. I think from a skill, like pure rap perspective. But we're talking about, at least for me, I'm thinking of production. Like, what albums am I going to go back to? Like, how many? I feel like I have more albums that I can't give up of Jay-Z than I do of Nas. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I think about Nostradamus, it's like, it's cool.
That was Nostradamus.
Yeah, like
Jay-Z got
exactly.
some
It's
duds
like,
too. Jay-Z got some duds in his catalog too. Kingdom
but
Come.
I think that Nas has a little bit more dubs than Jay-Z does. Because when I think about Jay-Z's catalog, I'm like, you got Volume 2, you got Volume 1, like In My Lifetime. Like you got Black Album, you got, like you said, American Gangster. Like there's and those albums, there are more than 7 to 8 tracks that I love. You know what I'm saying? On Nas, like some of Nas's projects, like Untitled or like his self-titled project, like there'll be 2 or 3 songs that I will go back to and listen to. You know what I mean? Like to just ride through the car. But I don't know, man. Jay-Z might have the edge up as far as just like full catalog. I think what always limited Nas that people had gave him like this criticism throughout his career is just like his production. And I don't even necessarily think it's a production. I just think that, you know, Nas wasn't focused on trying to make, you know, popular music. You know, he wasn't focused on trying to appease the masses. He just did what he did. And like hip hop fans love it. But we're talking about like sonically music that like you can't get out your head type of thing. I think Jay-Z is like, you know, the representation of people wanted to be. Like he represents a man that people really wanted to emulate versus Nas was like the artist that people listen to when you want to learn something. I'm like, you know, so their catalog serves different purposes. Like I said, skill wise, Nas albums outshine Jay-Z any day of the week. Like the delivery, the flows, the, you know, the metaphors and similes and all that kind of stuff, like storytelling. Now, don't get me wrong, Jay-Z has all of that. And I think that's what makes Jay-Z's catalog a little bit more of an edge than Nas's, because not only does he have storytelling, which is good storytelling, not as good as Nas, and great lyrics and great delivery, but Jay-Z just brought a different style to his music that was like, it transcends, you know, different backgrounds, different, you know, it sounds good. Like, it just sounds like good music.
Yeah. I agree with that. I would agree with that if I had to take a road trip and they say which artist you rather listen to on a road trip, I'm picking Jay-Z all day because he has more up tempo, more bounce, especially with the Timbaland era with Swiss beat. You know, Jay-Z knows how to make that song, like you said, that make you wanna party, and then he know how to make those storytelling songs, them side B tracks as well. He did a whole concert for his side Bs. Song. So yeah, I give it. I will say that it's kind of like, it seemed like you kind of leaning towards Jay-Z to me. You know, that was.
He did in this case, for the sake of argument, though. Like I said, Nas is still active. Nas is still active. Skill wise, I still stand on the fact that Nas is a better rapper than Jay-Z. He's a better rapper. He has like a just better delivery than Jay-Z. He's just better than Jay-Z at the rap.
Jay-Z, the way Jay-Z says things is second to none. Like he has a way of saying shit that sounds just so cool, like the coolest shit ever.
That's what I'm saying. He's a person he created a lifestyle in his rhymes that people wanted to have. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't but the thing I love about Jay-Z too is that he also still be dropping gems at the same time. It's not like
he does.
You know what I mean? Like
no substance.
No substance, because he definitely, that's what I'm saying about like In My Lifetime and, you know, Volume 2, like you think about these albums, it's like, nah, he really was dropping like real gems about stuff that people wasn't necessarily hip to at the time. So yeah, I don't know. That's hard. It's very hard.
All right, so out of those 5 that we just named, let's compare the 2. What you got? Illmatic or Reasonable Doubt?
Of course, I'm going Illmatic.
Illmatic, I agree with that. I'll say Illmatic is a better
perfect album.
Perfect. Yep. I would say Illmatic over Reasonable Doubt. What
I
else you
said
say?
I said Stillmatic up
Stillmatic.
there.
All right, so Stillmatic was released the same time as the Blueprint during the height of their beef in 2001. Which one you going with, Stillmatic or the Blueprint?
I'm going with Stillmatic.
Going with Stillmatic? I love Nas, but I'm gonna go with the Blueprint on. Can't go wrong. Both of them were 5 mic classics. Both of them received 5 mics in the source that year. So Stillmatic, Stillmatic
Think
had
about
Ether,
the
1 mic.
exactly. Stillmatic had Ether on it. I mean, what are we talking about? Like that's for me.
Hey,
Like
Takeover ain't no slouch either
the
now.
leg up. That's the leg up of it was written for me is because like Stillmatic has Ether on it. So
Yeah. Ether,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that was the record that put Jay-Z down.
Yeah, and he released Ether on Jay-Z's birthday. Fun fact, in case just in case somebody didn't know that. Like Nas he was hell around that time. That man released Ether on Jay-Z's birthday. That's just crazy,
That
man.
was a time, and like that's how I was just like to compare these two. I love it because it just brings back the memories of like 2001, like going back and forth between the two. So yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going. Stillmatic.
So you want Stillmatic? All right. So we had to compare. It was written to the Black Album. Which one would you choose? Which one you will be wrong with?
That's a tough one. I'm still might say, all right. Let me not be biased because I know I'm out. It was written.
You'll go with It Was Written.
I think I have to go with It Was Written. The Black Album was dope too. I remember when the Black Album came out, I was a little salty about Jay-Z. And maybe this is just a chip on my shoulder that I had about Jay-Z because it's just like I knew that Nas was always better. But when the Black Album came out, I didn't like that whole retirement thing. Like I wasn't feeling that. No. I was like, who retired? Like who announces it like this? Like it made me feel like how LeBron was like when he was moving to Miami. It was just like, who does this?
Yeah.
I think and then you come back.
Yeah, I think around that time, 50 Cent was so hot and on fire. I think that was Jay-Z's way of kind of stealing some momentum from 50, because 50 released Get Rich or Die Trying that year. He just signed, he was just, 50 Cent was running rap at that. He was running music at this point. So I think that was kind of Jay-Z's marketing employ to fake this retirement, to kind of like, don't forget about me, kind of shit, and of course Jay-Z was going to do numbers anyway. That's my theory. I think it was just him trying to,
Yeah, but I'll say this. I do feel like the Black Album had more commercial success, like more commercial hits, more again like songs that you could ride to, dance to, have a good time to. And from that perspective, yeah, it's better than It Was Written, but It Was Written is just like
It Was Written got some bangers. It got got the classic with Lauryn Hill. If I Ruled the World.
Black Girl Lost, like
yeah.
Take It In Blood. It's still in that gritty Nas. It's hard to compare the two because they are just two different albums.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to say that It Was Written is better than Black Album. I can see why though. Let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments what y'all think, which albums y'all rocking with, and what albums that we probably left off the list that you think should be on there, because these guys got so much body of work, so many albums, so we only chose 5. We ain't go through all the albums, so I'm sure somebody else might be like, yo, why you didn't put, so just let us know in the comments. Like I said, in the comments. So I guess, so what would that be? What's that, the third album? What album was on?
That was the third comparison. Yeah, so
right. So on
what
the fourth
you got? Who you got?
I'm gonna go with It Was Written. I'm gonna go with It Was Written over the Black Album. If I had to choose the two, And so far as American Gangster and
83, that was my 4.
83
I
or
gotta
American Gangster.
I might have to give it to American Gangster.
I agree. I give it
to American Gangster because American Gangster was conceptually a phenomenal album. It had really great production on it.
Right.
American Gangster is a really phenomenal album. Yeah. I'm gonna go with that one.
Okay, go American Gangster. All right. So the fifth and the final one, the 2 personal albums from both of these
perfect
guys.
Matchup.
The perfect matchup, I think. It was written Life Is Good or 444. Which one you rolling with?
Life Is Good any day of the week.
I agree with that. And not take anything from 444. It was an amazing project, amazing album. But Life Was Good. I think
444 was cool, but I don't look at that as
you don't think it's nothing special? You wouldn't put it on your list? You wouldn't have 444?
I would not, though. I would not have 444 on my top 5 Jay-Z.
What?
Maybe like top 10, maybe, but nah.
It's definitely top 10 Jay-Z album. It's definitely, but you wouldn't put that in your top 5? Wow.
Do you consider Watch the Throne a Jay-Z album, or you have to consider that like
collab?
All right.
Yeah, it's a collab. Yeah, both of them got collab projects and stuff that they did with other people and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, if we want to name the collabs, then it'll be a whole nother
it's video. Different. Yeah, you're right. But
Nas collab albums, the Firm album, it was good. It was good. It wasn't a bad album, but I think it could have been better. I think the Firm.
You left out Blueprint 2.1.
Blueprint 2 was trash, man. I don't like that. Maybe I ain't gonna say trash. It shouldn't have been a double album. He could have just took some of the best songs off there, and it would have been a classic. Some of them songs on there he just didn't need. Like it was a double disc, and everybody was doing double disc at that time. I just think Blueprint 2 was just
that's insanity. How could you ever get rid of Hobie Baby?
I like that one. I listened to some of the songs. I cherry picked through some of the songs off Blueprint 2, but overall album, Hov should have just had one album, one disc, pick the best ones, because he had some highlights on there, no doubt. He definitely had some highlights on Blueprint 2, but when he combined both of those albums, it kind of fell short. And it's supposed to be the sequel to the Blueprint. Like, how can you do that, man? Like, the Blueprint is such a perfect album,
So shocked.
A lot of people agree with that. A lot of people didn't like Blueprint 2, and they definitely don't like Kingdom Come. Kingdom Come
was not. I have learned to find like a couple songs from Kingdom Come, but Kingdom Come.
Yeah, of course, Jay-Z and Nas, they ain't gonna just make a complete trash album. They're gonna have some highlights. That's just what they're gonna do. But as far as the whole body of work, Kingdom Come was not here. What you think about Magna Carta, Holy Grail, the album?
That one was okay.
That was okay. Cool. It was okay.
Yeah, but that was it. It was definitely just
cool. Nothing, no.
The same Blueprint 2 was trash. I never thought Blueprint 2 was completely trash. I mean,
maybe trash is not as too harsh of a word, but
it wasn't. For me, it was a commercial. It definitely was more of his like commercial follow up to Blueprint 1. Agreed, like he had Beyonce on there, and it definitely was him trying to get out into like commercial success. But I don't think it was trash. I think it's because of how Blueprint. The Blueprint was received, like because of how influential that album was.
Maybe because that's what it was, because it came out.
Yeah, and it was just like I mean, I guess I remember the commentary around it, how people wasn't criticized it heavily. Looking back on it now and like looking at the track list, I'm like, it wasn't. I mean, it had the bouncing over Kanye, like you know what I'm saying, like actually had some really great songs, so I don't know.
He has a second Nas diss on the Blueprint 2 as well. Actually, the song is called Blueprint 2. I think that's the name of the song. If you haven't heard it, you definitely want to listen to that. That should have been the follow up to Ether. Like,
but didn't he have also like the Bitches and Sisters record on there too?
Yeah. Yeah, he had a bunch of stuff on there. He had a bunch of stuff on there.
And that was like, I think that other one, that was another record that was like and Nas. But you're right, I think the Blueprint 2 was.
Yeah, he definitely, and then one of my favorite lines when you were talking, he made a line about Nas' brother. He said, Nas' brother named Jungle. Mm-hmm. He said, the little homie Jungle is a garden to me. Like, yo, that's a classic line. Whole snap, but it was too late. The battle was over. Nas done
exactly.
Nas done killed that nigga. Nas done eat that nigga by that time. But the Blueprint 2, the name of the song on the Blueprint 2 is what you need. I think it's produced by was it Just Blaze? I forget who it was, but it's definitely a dope track. Hov was sliding on that, and also Nas came back because they still was on Godson that year, and he was throwing some shots at Jay-Z too on the I believe it's called The Realest Nigga Alive on that song on Godson. So they still was going at it. So Nas had the best album that year, Godson, 2002. Godson came out that year, so it was head and shoulders better than Blueprint 2. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yes. So Godson definitely is a dope Nas album as well. A lot of people might kill you for that, I'm like, you ain't put Godson in the top 5?
Let's evaluate Godson real quick, because I definitely remember it being a fire project.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
it
got
is.
Made You Look. Oh man, it made you look.
Yeah, Made You Look.
Yeah, that's why I saw him mention.
What I want to say, the inspirational song "I Can," with the little
Yes,
kids.
I can.
Yeah,
Love that one. And my favorite song from Godson is Heaven. Like,
yeah, that was dope.
That one right there, chef's kiss. I can't remember the girl who was singing on that. I forget her name, but she did a phenomenal job on that record. And yeah, it definitely. That's my favorite song. I might have to play that.
Yeah, Godson was dope. Then Nas came back. Like I said, he dropped some great albums. I wasn't really feeling that Nasir project that he released with Kanye with the 7 songs.
That was trash. That was the sword. That belongs in the garbage with Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
Both of those projects was
that wasn't good, but he redeemed himself when he came back with the Hit Boy. With those 6 albums in 3 years or something like that. That time span that they were doing. That was amazing. So if you say what Nas had done in the last 3 or 4 years, I would put his catalog discography over Jay-Z, because Jay-Z's been quiet. What you have done for me lately.
But you gotta think about totality. I think about totality. I don't know. This is hard. So this is why we need the people to help us understand if you had to choose one catalog, who would you choose? Yeah,
you only can pick one. You only can have one. Jay-Z. That means which one, whatever you pick, you got to get rid of Illmatic. You got rid of Reasonable Doubt or whatever. Yeah. So
I think Nas has better top 5 albums. Nas definitely has a better, stronger top 5.
You think so?
Jay-Z has a better
overall
catalog. Yeah.
Catalog.
Because you're right. Because I don't know what life is without Illmatic. I don't. I don't know. There is no life without Illmatic.
Yeah. One of the most influential, greatest hip hop albums of all time. So it's definitely a perfect marriage. Nas, the lyricism, what he did on it. And Jay-Z came with his 1996 release, wasn't no slouch either, with Reasonable Doubt, what he did, had Biggie.
But you still got to get into it. But Illmatic versus Reasonable Doubt. Illmatic told the story and gave you imagery that, again, undefeated. But Jay-Z sold a lifestyle in Reasonable Doubt. And he dropped a bunch of gems. I definitely know that Jay-Z dropped a bunch of gems.
Yeah, he did.
So I got to give him his credit for that. It wasn't just a dessert type of project. It has some substance in there, for sure.
Then he had Volume 1, 1997. It was a good album. He kind of went a little commercial on there with some of them commercial hits. I believe they let Puff produce some songs. They brought in the Babyface song, whatever. What is it called? The City Is Mine. You kind of, going a little, trying to go for that commercial appeal, and kind of like got away from what Reasonable Doubt was. But it wasn't a bad project. Volume 1, in my lifetime, Volume 1 was cool. It was good. So yeah, the more I think about Jay-Z, he got some dope albums in his discography, and like I said, Nas does as well. Like I said, I know we about to close out the video. Probably got like another minute or two.
No, all good conversation. I mean,
we can't forget about I Am. We can't forget about I Am by Nas as well, released in 1999. That project, he had Aaliyah on there. He had Ronald Isley. Was it Project Window? I think it was called.
Yeah.
DMX was on that album. So, because
he was trying to work with different people at that time.
Yeah, exactly. So Nas was doing his
trying different things. Yeah.
Nas was doing his thing at that time. He was definitely, he released 2 albums that year, and then he released Nostradamus later on that year, and that was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Around that time, I remember it was definitely hit or miss. It was the production, like it was the, but.
Yeah, like I said, Jay-Z got Blueprint 3. That was cool. I mean, it wasn't that special, but Nas got Hip Hop Is Dead. That was a great album. First time him and Jay-Z collabed and did a song together. So that, it was a great album. Great albums both of them had. But like I said, we're gonna, wrap this episode up. This is Rapology. This is episode number 6. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Comment, like I said, comment, engage. Let us know what your thoughts is. What are you choosing? Which one you rocking with, Jay-Z or Nas catalog? And just let us know. And we're about to sign off. I'm Maurice with Rapology.
This your girl, DJ Sassy.
All right, and we'll catch you guys later. Peace.